What's going on, guys? Back today with another video. Today we're actually going to do an upgrade for once, not just a fix. Yay! That's super exciting. We're going to go ahead and put on the modified knuckles that I grabbed. So I got these off of the wonderful land of eBay, and I forget what company cut these, but it was said in the description. So anyway, I got a couple sets of knuckles with hub assemblies, and they don't feel like they're loose, so I'm just gonna send it as a whole and put them fully on. I put that down because it was really heavy. That's what we're doing today. Got to start with jacking up the car and removing the old hub assemblies. It probably shouldn't take too long. My lens is very dirty. Okay, shouldn't take too long. I can't imagine it won't take more than like maybe 4 hours tops, but even then that's a stretch, and that's if I work really slowly and lazily today. So hopefully I won't do that and we can hustle and get this done in the next few hours and maybe see how much extra angle this has. So this is like stage 2 for angle. I have a little bit more angle mods for this car that we haven't done yet for a later video. So we'll get to those probably next week, maybe, or maybe I'll jump on the RX-7 and start doing some of the bushings. Who knows? Anyway, so I got those, and then I also grabbed, while I was at it, some polyurethane upper ball joint boots. Had to think about that for a second. Tie rod end boots. When I went ahead and put mine together, I kind of tore both of mine. So to fix that, I grabbed polyurethane ones, which don't tear, and they're rubbery. So cool. They're pretty cheap. I'll leave links to these down in the description down below. But I'm just going to be throwing these on to fix that issue. So let's get the car jacked up. This is the one really crummy part about living in Washington. Like, after pretty much any day you are driving, and like 9 months out of the year, you end up with so much like pine needles and gunk and like crap all over your stuff. Like, and you know, you don't even have to go off road. Like, and this builds up. It's ridiculous and disgusting. But such is the life of owning a car in the Pacific Northwest. Okay, so wheels off. We're here now. I've already gone ahead and done the other side, so I already familiarized myself with the process on my vehicle. So my car is actually an ABS car, so I have an ABS line in here to worry about. The modified knuckles that I bought don't have a provision for ABS on it, so we are just going to be cutting the ABS out of this car. And at some point we'll just do a full delete on it and swap the lines over, but we're not there yet. But for the moment, we can go ahead and just cut out the sensors from the front. We don't need them anymore because we don't obviously have points for them. So we're going to start off, take the brake caliper off, and then remove the handful of bolts that it is to take the knuckle off. Also, got one of these bad boys for Christmas, which it's really handy. Like, the only downside that I think I have with this one, compared to like probably like the Milwaukee one that a lot of other people have, is that you can't actually pull the battery out of it to swap batteries. So if this thing stops working on me in the middle of the job, I basically have to go back to peasant tools and use hand tools, which, oh well. It's cool when you got it, but it's kind of an expensive toy. So They're nice to have, not necessary, but really just nice to have tool. I'd recommend picking one up if you do a lot of like car work and maintenance, because it saves a lot of time. Ugh. So normally you'd want to tie these up, but since my car is already so low to the ground, they actually just sit on the ground without tension on the cables. So no worries. Take our rotor off, set it aside, because we're going to reuse it. So now we have to take the ABS sensor out. So to start with that, I'm just going to simply take a pair of snips and cut it up here by the grommet coming through from the engine bay. Okay, so that's disconnected. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove all the little 10mm nuts that hold this line up. Next up is all the wonderful cotter pins. There's 3 of them that you got to remove. One for the lower ball joint, the upper ball joint, wherever that's at. Yep, there it is. And then the one for the tie rod, or not the tie rod. Yeah, the outer tie rod end. One on that too. There. So instead of watching me struggle on those, I'm just going to go ahead and take those out real quick and done. Okay, so once you get all your cotter pins out and you take your castle nuts off, you can go ahead and like tap the sides of the knuckle right here, and most of the joints will probably free. Even your tie rod ends here, they will too. They can be a little bit stubborn, but what you never want to do is you never want to hit the top of this stud, because that's how you can mushroom it, and that's how you can really mess up your threads. So if something's stuck like this, it may take a little bit longer, but if you can, like, say, pull it off of this, because you're going to have to redo your alignment anyway after doing this. So pull it off your tie rod end, and then, you know, you can go ahead and go from there and actually just take it off on a bench where it's a little bit more comfortable and you can work with it. So I'm going to go ahead and break this thing loose and go ahead and take it off. So be back in a second. Okay, and your knuckle's free. Okay, so like I was saying before, take a few extra seconds, just even if it takes, you know, maybe even a few more minutes, you'll make your life a little easier down the road. You know, I could mushroom this thing and just smash it out with a hammer, or I'm going to use this contraption right here, which is a 2-jaw puller. Hook it underneath the lip here, and then just really center the point of this, and you can go ahead and just use an impact, and it should just come right out. So we'll hit it with this. This is really hard to do one-handed in film. Alright, so impact's on there, and there's the bottom end. So we'll I'm going to put you guys on a tripod so I can hold this stuff. Woo! Got it. Okay, that was exciting. That was my excitement for the day. Whew, that gets the heart rushing. All right, now we can reassemble this. Oh, before I do that, I wanted to show you guys something. So this is actually what a modified knuckle means, because like you'll hear it talked about a lot when you hear drifters talking about angle setups. And way back when, before WiseFab and all those like fully custom kits like became prevalent and suspension was all aluminum, what you would do is you would adjust where the tie rod end comes into, which is what's on the end of your steering rack. So pretty much if you take a look at these, this is the back side of your knuckle right here. And this is the one that I just pulled off the car. This is the factory one. Now, this is the top of it. This is the bottom of it. So this is where your upper control arm ball joint comes into. It goes right in here, castle nut there. This is your lower control arm ball joint. It goes into here. And this is where your tie rod end goes. Now, I'm not touching that because it's really hot. But this is the part we just got out. It goes right in here. So when you do a modified knuckle, you cut it somewhere in here and you take out a little bit of this metal and you actually shorten the distance from here to here. So this is the modified one that we have. So if you look at this, this is significantly shorter than this span. And to prove it to you, here's a tape measure. So center to center, you can see the center of the holes right there. There's the tape measure. You got, I don't know, let's call it 4.5-ish, because I know it's like about an inch, I think, difference. And then this one, you can see it's more like 3.5-ish. So there's about an inch of a difference, which will cause the throw of this to be shortened, so you might have some increased resistance when you're turning the wheel with this, but it'll allow the wheel to turn farther by shortening this. So that's what modified knuckles is in short. It's really just allow you to get a little bit more extra angle. So this is really like the main piece of angle kits, and then there's other little components which we'll get into a little bit later, because I have some more pieces for this car, or yeah. Anyway, so let's go ahead and reassemble, and reassemble is literally the same thing we just did, just in reverse. So and like, I think I tore that one down in maybe about 15 to 20 minutes. I got all this apart to this stage, and this is about as far apart as you need to take it. And normally you might actually change out your lines, but I have an extended one, so I'm trying that, and if it doesn't work, then I'm gonna have to buy new brake lines, if they, you know, if I can't go full lock without them being fully taut, or, you know, without having some slack in them. So let's go ahead and reassemble this. I'm not gonna make you guys watch it because I gave you guys a long, probably minute and a half, maybe minute-ish, little edit type thing of me removing that and battling it. So I'm gonna use the magic of editing, and it's done. Okay, so it's all back together. I did forget to order extended brake lines, so I gotta go do that one of these days. So anyway, it's all back together. Now essentially you can throw it on, throw your wheel on and realign it. But I actually have one more piece that I need to throw on. Okay, so I've got these to install next, which, yeah, I know they just look like rings. And these things are inner tie rod rack spacers. So we're gonna go ahead and pull off the inner tie rod from our steering rack, and these are gonna slip in there, and what these are gonna allow us to do is we're gonna actually have more steering wheel travel, so it's gonna allow us to actually steer the car physically farther. So if I can say turn it like 2.5 times around from like lock to lock, now it should make it so I can turn the car maybe like 2 3/4 times lock to lock, or even 3 times around. Who knows? But it should give you just a little bit more, so it will add just a little bit more angle and a little bit more steering play, or not play, but more steering travel. So pretty much what this looks like underneath the car is you just kind of go ahead and pull off your inner tie rod boot, and then so if this is your inner tie rod right here, and you have this boot, you go ahead and take this boot off, and then on the inside you end up with these two pieces right here. So you got this, which is your inner tie rod, and you got this rack, and there will be like a locking ring on it, and you go ahead and you take that off, and then let's see if I can do this one-handed. It's a little tricky. Okay, so then you take your little ring, and it essentially slips right over this, which this one's a little loose, so I think it's the other set that I have, because I bought a set for the RX-7 as well. So I'm going to grab that and then check that, but then once that's done, you'll go ahead and thread that back in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do all this like off camera, because it's really hard to film down here and see what I'm doing. So I'll catch up with you in a second. Alright guys, so the modified knuckles and the rack spacers are in. Yeah, I can't really show you exactly how much angle it has yet, because like the brake lines are the limiting factor, and I'm not trying to break those yet, because kind of kind of don't want to leak brake fluid everywhere. Anyway, so this is kind of where I'm going to leave it, because I now need to realign the car, and like I don't think you guys really want to watch me realign the car. That's kind of a boring process. So I'm going to go ahead and realign the car, get it all set up. Quick correction, last time I like talked to you guys about aligning a car for a drift event, which this I'm going to just do a similar alignment. I said to put like an 1/8 inch toe in on the front wheels, I'm pretty certain. Well, probably the other way around. I'm pretty certain it's supposed to be 1/8 inch toe out on the front wheels and toed in on the front or the rear wheels. So that was my minor correction from that time. So yeah, I'm not a drift expert. I'm not any sort of expert of anything. So take what I say with a grain of salt, and yeah. You guys, when we get the brake lines, how much angle the car actually has, and yeah. So anyway, I'm really excited about that. So I'm gonna probably leave it here because I'm kind of gross, and like I said, alignments are boring to watch, and it's just maintenance stuff, nut and bolt stuff that I need to do underneath the car that I haven't done in a while. So that's gonna be it for today. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.